Yeah, very strong debut for such a young player coming into the LPL onto Weibo. But I think we also need to highlight Xiaohu. He was definitely an unsung hero coming into those team fights. I believe in the very last one, JDG did have an angle to start DPSing, but Rula couldn't walk up. Xiaohu was single-handedly zoning out 3 members of JDG in the backline, and 369, he did find an angle onto Light on that Cassante, but you don't really have a teammate once you are in the whole mix of everything. But of course, congratulations to Weibo for upsetting this first game.
Yes.
This is exactly what we need from Weibo. A sign of life.
Yeah. you took that 3-0 to BLG during spring very personally, I can tell. But I mean, this is literally it. And it's what makes me so excited about the LPL. And it's why I'm so excited to kind of, have more eyes on this league, have more people watching it, is that, like, yes, JDG and BLG smashed LCK, like, destroyed them. And that wasn't even the teams we were supposed to send, potentially. Weibo and EDG are just as good sometimes on their days. So this is why I'm excited for this league. This is why I'm excited for these players. And I'm excited to see people finally get to see.
And all Weibo needs to do is that with such a flashy start to the split, they just need to maintain consistent and take the same attitude and form to the playoffs. And that is a perfect roster for the LPL. But of course, huge credits to Weiwei. We didn't see any pressure coming out of such a young jungler. And of course, having his debut game up against Kanavi, who everyone thinks is the best jungler in the world right now. We saw a huge difference when it did come to those objective fights. And I just think Kanavi definitely needs to go work on his kind of a direction in the game. We saw in game 1 that he was consistently playing towards 369. Game 2, when you should be playing towards 369, he was missing. Yeah, and at the very end, consistency is key for this Weibo gaming roster. And hopefully, with such a strong start to the summer split, we will be expecting them to do just as great once we approach playoff stage. But we'll have to wait and see, like we keep saying. But I think Crisp, definitely a huge 180 compared to his performance in the previous playoffs during spring. And I'm not too sure if it's just because the current champion meta favors him a lot more, where the enchanters are currently dominating the 2v2s in the bottom lane, or if he is just taken some time off during the offseason and really improved mentally as a player. Look, I don't know. The Shy had a pretty fun time in top lane, to say the least, because we did have Weiwei partying towards him for the early game, and 369 was still giving a punch for the Shy in that 1v1 in the top lane, so it wasn't too consistent. But hopefully, as we approach the later game stages, I mean, the Shy on the Scion, we saw some ultimates miss, so I'm not going to comment about that way too much. But I think Light definitely stepping up as that carry out of the entire roster. And hopefully we get to see this kind of form continue for the next few games.